So as we're getting towards the end of this election cycle, we're getting closer to the election. The Democrats are scrambling, the left is scrambling to try to paint Trump instead of them. It's crazy because instead of them actually focusing on promoting themselves and Kamala promoting herself towards the getting closer to this election, they're ramping it up as far as trying to talk down on Donald Trump, right? So of course you have this moment that they're trying to use to their advantage.
I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. 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 I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I said, well,
so they're basically taking that out of context. They want you to believe that that message was in reference to uh um was in reference to him basically saying that he's going to ban, abortion. And that wasn't even what that message was about. That was him talking about the border and talking about the undocumented migrants that are coming in and doing certain things. And he basically said that he wants to protect the women of our country and he's going to protect them whether they like it or not, right? And the only reason why he said it that way is because he said he wanted to protect the women. He said 4 weeks ago he said that around his staff, and they was like, well, we don't want you to say that because people are taking it out of context, which is exactly what they're doing right now. CNN is taking it out of context. So this is why at that rally, he said, well, I'm going to protect them whether they like it or not. He's not saying he's going to protect the women whether the women like it or not. He's saying, I'm going to protect them whether they like me saying that or not. I told you guys numerous times, Trump is quirky in his speech, and they always use it against him. They always use it against him because Trump does not, he's an old school type man. He basically shoots from the hip and says what's on his mind, and he doesn't always spell it out to give you a bunch of context. You feel what I'm saying? And, let me play the other video for context because most people, are going to be like, that's not what he meant. Well, this is literally what he said.
it's an invasion, ladies and gentlemen. It's an invasion. Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo, including savage criminals who assault, rape, and murder our women and girls. Anyone who would let monsters kidnap and kill our children does not belong anywhere near the Oval Office. And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
So, as you can see right there in that moment, he said, I'm going to do it whether they like it or not. In other words, I'm going to say this whether they like it or not, right? So, of course, they took that out of context. And then once they took it out of context, Mark Cuban took it a step further.
You're a Nikki Haley supporter like I was in the primary, but now you're supporting Kamala Harris. And turns out Donald Trump is not even asking Nikki Haley for her help to try to reach her voters. What do you make of that? And do you think having people like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and other Republicans with Kamala Harris is going to put her over the edge with these Nikki Haley supporters?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it'll put her over the edge with Nikki Haley supporters. Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them. And, you know, Nikki Haley will call him on his nonsense with reproductive rights and how he sees and treats and talks about women. I mean, he just can't have her around. It wouldn't work.
Now, this was on The View. Now, what's interesting to me, shout out to Fetty, what's interesting to me is he basically just sat there and said that every woman that has ever been around Donald Trump, even during Donald Trump's administration, when he was president for 4 years, there were no strong, intelligent women around him. So my question is, why does the left get away with this type of rhetoric? It's just like how they're downplaying Joe Biden referring to Donald Trump supporters as garbage. He's the sitting president, and he said the only garbage I see floating is his supporters. So they're trying to downplay that and act like it's not that serious, the same way they're now trying to downplay Mark Cuban saying something that, quite frankly, is misogynistic. This is what's hilarious about this. It's like racism. Whenever people try to use the race card, it's always over something frivolous nowadays. But the real racism gets overlooked, swept under the rug, or ignored. It's the same thing with this. Whenever somebody's accused of being misogynistic, it's always something that they have to stretch or reach to call it misogynistic. Like it's a stretch that something was misogynistic. But when they see something that's actually misogynistic, which is what he just did right there, nobody's going to call it out. Like, how do you even quantify that, Mark Cuban? How can you sit there and say that no women around Trump or no women that have ever been around Trump are strong and intelligent? And why are they letting you get away with that in this day and age? I want to see if Fox News had anything to say about Mark Cuban and what he just said. Let's see.
The richest surrogate for Kamala Harris, billionaire business owner Mark Cuban, thinks conservative and independent women working for Trump are stupid and unaccomplished.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them.
Yeah, well, speaking of someone who has challenged him on many occasions, and I think he still respects my opinion, that's a really dumb comment. So just proving billionaires can be bozos as well, I guess, Mark? Well, here's a fact check for Mark doesn't have a Cuban. Here's a small list of those supposedly unintelligent women associated with Donald Trump. His wife, Melania, I don't know, does Mark Cuban speak 5 languages? His campaign manager, Susie Wiles, a seasoned political pro. America First Policy Institute chief Brooke Rollins, brilliant. Linda McMahon, also with the AFPI, former WWE exec, came up from nothing. Kellyanne Conway, of course we all know Kellyanne, Governor Sarah Sanders, Kayleigh McEnany, and the list goes on and on. Now, of course, Cuban was responding to comments made last night by former President Trump.
People told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's We think it's very inappropriate for you to say so. I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
Well, of course, it's clear what he means, that he would be a strong president. Yeah, a protector. The president's supposed to protect us, right? Protector of our borders, our economy, and for all people, even for liberal female voters who don't support him now. And all the women I know, and yes, including Democrats, they do love men who are protectors. What do they think we want? Men who break and can't fix things? Not attractive. Now, it's not sexist for men to want to protect women, and it's not weak for women wanting men to protect them. Sorry, it's natural. But when Harris is on the trail, she rarely seems natural, and she always seems like she's just reciting rehearsed lines. In this case, pretending to be offended by Trump, the protector.
Did everyone hear what he just said yesterday? That he will do what he wants, quote, and here's where I'm going to quote, whether the women like it or not. We must vote.
Did he say he'll do what he wants? You see how she's framing it? See how she's framing it? This is, I don't want someone to be president when they're going to take something someone says and frame it a certain way that is politically beneficial to them. This is a dishonest person.
Because this is the thing. You know, there's a saying that you got to listen to people when they tell you who you are, who they are. And this is not the first time he has told us.
She had a Freudian slip right there. Yeah, tell us who you are, Kamala.
Who he is. He does not believe women should have the agency and authority to make decisions about their own bodies.
Oh, their agency. Ooh, she sounds like a big lawyer lady there. Actually, she's just thoroughly unconvincing. It doesn't matter how much she laughs her way through her remarks. It doesn't matter that she claims to be a uniter who will work with both sides. None of that changes the fact that at her core, she is a divisive San Francisco radical. And with her and her, call you a Nazi or a Hitler, because what? She's going to do that because she can't defend her own agenda. Everything she did as VP hurt women. Her open borders, which let migrants in who abused, trafficked, raped, and even killed women and girls. Her inflation that robbed young women of the chance to buy a home. That forced senior women back into the workplace to afford daily life. That forced women to raid their 401ks. And yet her demonic trans agenda that forced women to compete against biological men in sports. And Kamala claims to be pro-choice, but when it comes to vehicles, her climate change mandates will give women no choice in automobiles. If Kamala wins, most will be forced to ditch their gas-powered cars, I like mine, thank you very much, for EVs. And, or the Greeniacs have their way, there'll be no cars at all. That's the ultimate dream. So how is any of this pro-women? Now, female voters, I guess, are supposed to agree to a lower standard of living and unsafe streets and throw in perpetual war just because the Supreme Court returned the abortion decision to the states? Okay, someone has to explain that to me. How's that logical? The women who people like Mark Cuban look down on aren't one-issue voters.
What's driving your vote?
I just think securing the border and hopefully boosting our economy. I voted for Trump in Trump 2024. I think he truly made America great his last run, and I hope he can do it again.
Farmers matter, automotive matters, Trump matters, and he's going to take care of the farmers and the automotive industry.
Trump's supporting women. He's for women's rights and even fertility rights, and I like that he's against abortion and keeping our country safe.
But Democrats and their media boosters are so flummoxed by Trump's staying power that they keep falling back on the F word. Even his wanting to protect women now is a threat.
When you look at him as the protector, I'm not sure what he's talking about. It's kind of some sick, distorted, fascist way.
Of course, most of these people don't believe that Trump is a threat to women, just like they don't believe he's a fascist or Hitler. They're just out of ideas. And actually, they're just out of gas. And all they can do is hope to scare enough women to push Kamala and her terrible record over 270 electoral votes. And look, they have a lot of money. They may succeed. But you're supposed to take solace in stories like this. Right now, more women, Democrats say, and it looks like this is the case, than men are voting early, 55 to 45. But that also includes GOP women voters as well. So we'll see how things end up on Tuesday. But the trends now are obviously positive in favor of Trump. The most accurate poll of the 2020 cycle, Atlas Intel, has Trump up in 6 of the 7 swing states right now, although the margins in some of them are very, very tight. Now, remember, Kamala signed off on a strategy to go light on policy and heavy on fear and smear during this campaign. And in the end, they went all in on January 6th and fascism with a touch of "you're garbage" courtesy of Biden. She repeatedly lies about the abortion issue to frighten women. And of course, the press isn't going to fact check her. But Trump, he answered her by smiling at the McDonald's drive-thru, by having fun taking reporters' questions in a garbage truck, and by forging on undaunted. So confident that he's keeping states like New Mexico and Virginia in play. But remember, Kamala and her surrogates don't think women voters need to hear solutions on inflation or the border, only abortion fear-mongering. Now, which candidate insults and patronizes women again? And that's the angle. Now, we should note...
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Now, I wanted to show you this video where they interviewed black women about Kamala Harris. But I doubt it'll come up. I sincerely doubt I'll be able to find it. But there's a video floating around the internet where they interviewed, black women asking them about Kamala, and they was basically saying they don't really rock with her. They don't really support her. But they'll never show you that. You feel what I'm saying? They'll never show you that. And by the way, the other day I told everybody that Vice did a story 5 years ago on a brother that Kamala sent to prison that was innocent. When you guys get a chance, let's see, I'm not going to play it here, but when you guys get a chance, definitely go check out that video. It's I'm putting it in the chat room right now. I'm pinning it to the top of the chat. Make sure you guys go check out that video. Shout out to Focus, says she is going to be the next George W., the same type of talk that got us in Iraq. Yeah, when you guys get a chance, go check out that video. But other than that, man, we've been up here long enough. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Make sure you go check out my book over on Amazon. Damn, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. But like I said, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Make sure you go check out my book over on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar on Amazon. It will come up. It's available in paperback, hardcover. If you want to check out the merchandise, all you have to do is go to shopBinoNation.com. Again, that's shopBinoNation.com. But other than that, man, salute to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for supporting the show. Shout out to everybody that showed love, all of that good stuff. You feel me? But other than that, we going to get up out of here. Salute to the whole BINO Nation. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?